Now what this does is it allows us to drop a base color. The way you do that, you take your line art copy layer, you turn it to multiply. You turn it to various other things, but multiply is what I use because you can see through it. Then you go down to your colors layer. Your colors layer is where you're going to throw down your base. Usually I use like a lime green because I don't use a lot of bright neon colors of my stuff, so I know I won't be using this for anything. So you're going to hit OK, and your paint fill. Doesn't matter yet, but I keep it on contiguous at first. That means only what's touching of the same color. Because all of this is clear on the colors layer, it's all technically one color. You want opacity at 100%. That way it keeps all your colors uniform. Like if I had this on 40% dumped in a color, then it's only 40% here, and then I dump another color, and then it's 80% because it's 40 on top of 40. And suddenly your colors don't match. If I have a brown here and a brown here that I wanted the same color, they won't be. Because one's going to be 40%, one's going to be 80%. Also, keep your mode to normal when you're dropping down your flat colors. This keeps, again, your colors uniform. Bloop. And now you have your base color. Now, the reason for the base color is so that when you're doing your selections up here, it gets time consuming to want to just outline every little bit of this thing here. So I don't. What I do is I do my basic selection of the area I'm going to color first. We're going to color his hair, at least the hair in the foreground. Once more, we go up to Select, Modify, Expand, and it covers most of the area that we're in. But what it doesn't do is cover certain areas of the black line art. Now this is important because when you go back to your colors layer and you start to drop in your actual flat fill colors, you're going to have spots that are uncolored all around your edges and in between. Now that's not so important most of the time, but like I said, if you use some sort of effect or if there's a bleeding effect going on with your colors, you're going to end up with weird green showing up everywhere. But because of this, this is where a lot of people are asking, hey, how do you make those circles and only color inside the lines? Well, once again, your base color and the clear areas are two different colors. With your paint bucket set to tolerance of 1, it's only going to color one color at a time. In this case, just the green. If you color outside, just the brown. Or just the clear with the brown. I can't talk. It's late. Leave me alone. Anyhow, that's why I go and do these little circles to fill in these areas where the magic wand didn't cover. Makes coloring a lot easier later on, and I'll show you why also. Well, since we're just doing this, I can tell you. When you use your paint bucket, it's going to fill anything connected to it if it's on contiguous, which means every piece of green that's connected inside the selection is going to get colored. Now, later on, once I've done all my separations, every single area should have its own unique color, but because of those little missing pixels that are in between, it's going to connect areas and you're going to get random colors everywhere. And though you may not be able to see it all the time, it can cause you a weird eyeball effect where the eye sees something, but only the brain processes it. It doesn't actually show you in your eye, you know, in your vision. Dude, I seriously can't talk right now. I probably shouldn't be doing an audio tutorial. Anyhow, it's a persistence of vision problem, so you may see greens where there's not actually a green there because there is a green there. And have I confused you enough to make you guys bleed yet? Whatever. It's a continuity issue is what it is. So we're trying to find all of our missing pixel areas, have them selected, and I think we got them all. Okay. It's a lot more confusing when I'm doing this and talking at the same time. I'm not a multitasker. Okay. Another reason for a base color that some colorists use, I do it sometimes, it's not a hard form rule is sometimes you'll want to take down your opacity for doing your flat fills over your base color because it gives a hint of your base color in every single thing you separate in your flat colors. Now this gives a sort of unity, a tone to the setting. If you're going to be doing a night shot, you may want to use a blue base color and kind of downplay the colors just a little bit. While using the same palette you would in the daytime, it's now suddenly a nighttime palette. And I just did this in my voice unintentionally, but it's just really going forward with the nerd thing. So anyhow, today we're just going to do the 100% flat fill colors. Okay, you hit Control D, or in my case, because I'm on a Mac, Apple D, and it unselects. Now, if you notice, the whole area is brown. No greens poking through. So we're going to go back in here and select the back hair color. Not his back hair, the hair behind. You know what I'm talking about. Now, in situations like this, you can just select the whole thing because it's already kind of separated on its own from the brown. In other cases, you're just going to want to do the spots that are touching a color that you're not going to fill. Since we're not going to be touching the brown, we're just going to be coloring the green, you can go outside the lines and make your selections into the browns. Don't make it too habit forming because later on you could be sending out your lasso into areas you don't want it to be and accidentally color a small portion of something and it screws up your whole unity of color. Now, a lot of artists have a palette set up. I just kind of eyeball things the way I like them at the time because my choices and colors change almost daily, which is probably why I'm not a good colorist. Anyhow, we're going to keep going ahead, making our selections, and everything here is just further following the same point. I'm just going to shut up for a minute because I want to make this go a little faster instead of being like a 45-minute video of you hearing my voice. Because I can only take annoying you people so much. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. Okay, here's a mistake I just made that I should point out. This is the case where these colors are going to all be the same. They're all going to be the same black, which is a light shade of it. But say you make that mistake that you want to change the color because the first color you drop down is not the one you want. This is where you pay attention to your options up here for your paint bucket. When your contiguous is on, you're only going to color the one area that you already have filled. Now, if you take it off, every single thing that's selected that's the same color now, even if it's not touching, will color at the same time. Now, that's up to you whether you want to do it one at a time or all at once. I prefer all at once. Probably do one of these videos on the night where I've been drinking. Maybe you'll hear me sing. Not.